hello. Okay. Turn that way down. Need to double check if I'm actually streaming, because it went, oh, this game cannot be streamed for some reason. I need to turn on my audio because the music's giving me a headache. Boink. Oh no, I need to be able to hear that. Anyway, I don't know what the title is. Actually, I'm going to look at previous Rapid Racing League VODs for titles so I can figure out what to name the video. Rapid Oz Div 1. Let's call it RRL Div 3 Singapore. Alright, hang on. I'm just going to pause this. Be right. Back. Okay, I'm gonna go quickly check if my audio is working. Okay. There you go. I actually had my volume way too high up because I couldn't actually tell if it was working or not. But anyway, I'll probably start with introductions and everything when the lobby, when we're in the game, when we're all in, ready to go. I hope my Wi-Fi isn't too impacted. I just realised I'm actually using this on my old phone, which is not ideal because that's using Wi-Fi, and I'm streaming on my Wi-Fi. I shouldn't do that. But I want to be able to watch this stream and see if there's any audio issues or see any comments. But I'm watching the AFL draft. And my club has picks 3 and 20. So, oops. Can I maybe hotspot? Ooh, yeah, hang on, I got an ad. I don't get mentions recently. I don't know how you can do steering with a D-pad. I just saw a Discord comment saying someone's going to be playing this game with a D-pad. Now, I'm no stranger to analog sticks. That's what they call them, analog sticks. Digital inputs, that's what they're called. I'm no stranger to digital inputs. I used to play a lot of racing games on a keyboard back in the day when I was a young'un. About 10, 15 years ago, or 15 years ago, I was 7. Anyway. So, like, the old Need for Speed games. I even tried Need for Speed Shift on a keyboard, and it didn't work. And that was the catalyst for me buying a racing wheel, which I barely used. So that... I don't know why I didn't buy a controller. I didn't think controllers worked. I was completely unaware of how gaming worked back then. Barring PC. So... yeah. Anyway, we've got 13 people in. A few... no, Edmo, I think, is new. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I think he is, unless he's changed his name. Because people do randomly change their names and then join back in lobbies and all that. I've seen that happen a few times, and it's just like, who are you? And it's like, oh, I'm this guy. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Anyway. Just looking at Black Ops Cold War Zombies achievements to stream. Anyway, that's completely unrelated to Formula 1. I was in, and the... Xbox is not enjoying this tonight. I don't know why my Xbox has been really slow with these things. And you'd think, oh, it's because I've got an aging Xbox. No, I've got a Series X that's not even a year old. Those fans are going though. But to be fair though, I have a lot of dust. So. Anyway, tonight we're at Singapore. Singapore's a fun track. I love Singapore. I think it's a wonderful, underrated track. Hasn't produced absolute classics in racing. I mean, arguably its best race. I mean, that's highly subjective. I feel like that could be a subjective thing because 2008 had Crashgate, which was unfortunate, and then 2017, obviously Vettel took out Verstappen, and then had the whole Ferrari double DNF. I know that's a heartache for a lot of Ferrari fans and non-Mercedes fans. I'm not a big Mercedes guy, so I was like, oh god, Mercedes is going to win again. But in terms of drama, that race would have probably been the best race from Singapore. Maybe 2015 because Ferrari were really dominant there. Even 2019 they were really dominant there though, to be fair. So it's really been a track where you kind of go, oh, okay, either team, like any of like the fastest teams on track could be dominant. Like you don't know. It's kind of a bit weird, a bit Russian roulette-y almost. Anyway, I did want to see what happens in the rest of this AFL draft, but do they have that cool thing that Twitch does? No, they do not, because all video apps are outdated until they do what Twitch does, where you can like watch a stream and then have it appear in the corner of the screen. And I do apologize if anyone's posted any comments since I've started. I have not seen them because I've been watching the AFL draft. Oh, and I get an ad for Mountain Dew. Oh boy, nothing screams rot your teeth out. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad tasting drink, but can't be arsed. And another ad for Twitch. My word. There are so many ads on Twitch these days. There are so many ads on video services in general these days, to be fair. Alright, so we are nearly at the window where reserves can join. I've just figured that I'll just put in the Div 3 Discord that, you know, people, regulars who want to join, should join at 8 to 8:15. Because I know that OCE has their own realistic thing, and I think a few people from there are in this. I think. But I think they're all here, actually. Anyway, so there's that. And, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, so now I remember. There's a 15-minute window starting in the next minute or so that will get us into the reserve window. Although I feel like that should be about 5 minutes, because really, I'm not going to stream this for about 15 minutes without, or more, without, you know, any action. That'd be horrific. And in action, I mean on-track action, not, you know, anything else. So we'll just gradually wait and wait for anyone else to join. It is super humid in here, in this room right now. It's not great, not a great feeling, particularly given the weather. But, there you go, window up. If you live in Australia, though, there's a good chance you've had some rather humid weather in the last few days, although there's a really nice cool change coming through, actually. So, I was out there earlier. Let's go get some stuff from a shop. And it was lovely. But anyway. Will it be just as lovely in Singapore? Don't know. Singapore, like, I think the climate there's usually more on the humid side. Someone's just left. Yeah, it's typically more on the humid side, which means it's known for being strenuous on drivers, just because of the intensity of the heat and so on. Like, it's not searing hot; it's the humidity. And humidity, I'd say, there's a crossing point where humidity would affect you more, and then from that, once you hit that crossing point, it's the temperature that affects you more. And I think that's like 35 degrees or something. So how's everyone's day, afternoon, evening, midnight, early morning been? I know people around, not necessarily around the world itself, but people in the UK, some people scattered around Europe, some Americans, some Australians, obviously Australians. I think a couple of Kiwis watch this. I'm actually not sure, it'd be interesting to find that out actually, but hopefully you're all doing well. And we'll get started shortly. We've got 16 people. Does that include... No, because spectator defaults it to 0. Right, that's nice to know. I just don't know why I forgot that, but I'm glad I remembered. But this is my second commentary rodeo this week, because I did... oh, hang on a minute. Sorry. I did Div 2 earlier this week with Rapid Noodles. I know him personally, he's a very good friend of mine. And that was a lot of fun. It was around this track, and then... So I've seen a lot of this track this week, because of course I did Div 2 on Monday. I did the actual Div 1 race, which was chaotic, and I will not speak about that. If you want to watch it, it's up on the YouTube channel and on the Twitch as a VOD, I'm pretty sure. In fact, it was playing as a VOD when I logged in. But yeah, I need to check Discord really quick just in case something's gone wrong, because there seems to be a bit of stagnant, just because people haven't joined. Not as many people have joined as I thought, unless... I don't know who Edmo is. Unless that's... Thanks, Kahoot, by the way, for handling that. I should have checked the Discord, so I'd lay that off you. But thank you for handling that anyway. There's 2 Haas drivers? There are indeed 2 Haas drivers. Bow, bow. Yes, there is. I will confirm that. Is there anyone else who needs a seat? Any seats for you? There are! There are! Ferrari Alpha Aston. Red Bull? Is that Ferrari? Ferrari's likely solid. Okay, 17 people. This is looking pretty good. I figured he'd be the McLaren dude. I've got Flunky9, a Div 2 driver. So the rules are obviously if you're coming in from the division above or below, usually it's coming in from the division above. Rarely, unless they're reserves, unless they're officially designated as reserves, do they cross over into the higher divs. But you know, if someone from Div 2 wants to come down to Div 3, they cannot qualify. And that's just to maintain competitive advantage. Because, of course, we have, you know, scales of how competitive everyone is. Well, I'm guessing... I'm not sure about it. That's what I'm assuming is what happens. But I'm guessing, you know, the guys running the joint will just be like, hey, now you go Div 3. Now you go Div 2. I mean, I've been in Div 1 and Div 2. And I had a lot more fun in Div... Well, that's hard to say. I shouldn't say which one I had more fun in. But I've had ups and downs in both. Some... less extreme downs in Div 1. Oh, sorry, more extreme downs in Div 1, I should be saying. Anyway. So I'm going to check the Twitch real quick. Oh, this is... Okay. I have, like, to... Hello, by the way. Thank you for joining. I know you guys are actually in the race, but... Welcome. Anyway. So it shouldn't be too much longer now. We will start at about 8:30. I just want to give extra time for people. I know. I'm sorry, this is going to be 14 minutes. At this point, it's going to be 14 minutes of me rambling on. I guess. I mean, what do these... I don't know if these guys even aired the VODs. Good evening, Vorno. So yeah, if the guys who edit these cut the VODs and cut this whole bit of crap out, unless they want to keep it, it's up to them. I just kind of come here and I go, oh, I stream now. Okay. So, don't really put much thought into it. Just stream. Anyway. Oh, am I allowed to be on Discord on 2 different devices? That's interesting. Not even registering me as being on F1 2021. That's a weird glitch. But, so be it. Anyway, before I got lost in thought, I am on the, yeah, I've got 2 Samsung phones that are running same version and same UI now. Yeah, I was gonna say, someone's mentioned that, yeah, someone joined me before I fucked it. Well, Alright. I don't think we're going to be getting any more people in, if I'm going to be honest. It doesn't seem like we would. Hard to say, in all honesty. But if I go into... back into the Div 3 chat, you're just waiting. Who's the other Ferrari dude? Who's the other Alpha dude, even? With JDM. We had 2 guys in the Alphas. Take the Alpha Romeo, mate. There you go. And I'm hearing dogs barking in the distance. Oh boy! Got a lot of dogs in this neighborhood, actually, now that I think about it. We've actually got a lot of animals. We're in a weird spot of this town, because this town's known for being... well, this city's been known for... its, urban kind of decay, almost, if I say so lightly. And, I'm in an area where it's just a lot of vegetation, a lot of animals, domesticated and wild. And it's a nice sort of escape, almost. It's just an interesting part of town. But anyway. Near a golf course too, which is kind of cool. I'm not a big golf guy, but you know, sport. You know, I love my sport. I love my AFL. I love F1. Obviously, if I didn't love F1, I wouldn't be doing this. So, anyway. Yeah, alright. So, it's 8:26. Ready up, everyone. Go nuts. I'll tell everyone to ready up, because I don't think we're going to be getting more people in. So, send that flare, basically. And there we go, we're underway. 20 minutes in, we are underway. I do apologise for the delay. I wanted to make sure as many people as possible could get in, and I didn't want anyone to miss out. We all do. I think we all do this to varying degrees in Div 2, Div 1, and Div 3. So, yeah, just wanted to have that done just like that, and away we go. So, welcome everyone to Rapid Racing League's Division 3 race in Singapore. Of course, I'm the sole host currently. I mean, we have kind of a rotisserie of hosts. Sometimes we'll have Pinju on, or sometimes there'll be like Will on. I'm obviously SD Romulus. Let's see how this goes. Session starts in about 40 seconds. I don't know why we have that timer. I'm pretty sure the game just kind of starts anyway. Maybe it's just waiting for everyone to load in because I've got an SSD and I load a lot quicker than everyone else. I'm not sure, but anyway, we'll just find out. Alright, session is underway. Oh, apparently not. Oh no, never mind, it is indeed underway now. Now I've actually got to get all the telemetry up because the game doesn't remember that, and I've mentioned that countless times at this point. Minimap, full track map, actually. Minimap might be a little bit fun to see who goes there first. That might be a bit more of a precise look. Scroll down, see if anyone's getting their engines fired up. Oh, we're seeing an Alfa Romeo. I see an Alfa Romeo in first gear. There's an Alpine, there's a Aston, there's a Haas, and yeah, there's more cars. Plenty of cars coming out. out on track. I can count at least 3, 4 now. Probably another the 5th coming out shortly. But there they are. So we're in Q1 as it stands, 17 minutes, it's dry. So hopefully not too many incidents. Of course, the Div 2 guys that are in here tonight cannot qualify, and therefore we'll start at the back. But hopefully this is a clean race, this is a clean qualifying session. That's a lot of lag there. I wonder if that's on my end or... No, my stream's popping up quite nicely on my phone with data. So I suspect it's that poor dude, Dr. JDM himself. Because we've got his teammate Flunky out on track as well. So we've got, what, 6 cars. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is a Haas. He's gone way too deep. But fortunately, there are generous runoffs. Surprisingly, probably the most generous runoffs in this entire circuit. Because, yikes, that could have been a big crash. Had that have been something like Saudi Arabia or Monaco. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, it's weird that, I mean, the track's basically done. Like, oh, he's just damaged his front wing there. It's a very unfortunate way to damage your front wing on your outlap. But, yeah, that track looks a little dangerous. And from what I've heard, it's, like, fast with, you know, big walls. Obviously, they're safe because apparently they're about NASCAR spec walls. And, of course, NASCAR, you know, there hasn't been many fatalities in NASCAR in a long time because there's a much bigger emphasis on safety and all that now in motorsport in general. So... you can't qualify because we started early. We didn't really start early, but... Oh, you're in the Ferrari. Okay, good. Good thing I told Flunky to pick the Alpha because I knew you were Ferrari regular, and I was like, hang on, where is he? It's good to see you here, though. So, about over half the garage is out on the lap. We've got JDM, the first one to start a timed lap. We're going to attentively await and see what his timed lap is. I'm going to be super curious to see what he sets because he's generally set some good mid-level, high-level benchmark lap times. And it's good enough to give you an idea of where exactly the field's going to be at because usually he's not too far off the top. He sets a purple first sector. He's the only driver to set a purple sector because he's the only one who set a lap, although there's a Mercedes-Benz behind him. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. I'm not sure what's going on there. Mercedes behind him? Yeah, it's a Mercedes on an outlap. So yeah, we've got a couple more cars behind. There's actually a big flurry of cars in that Sector 1 bracket right there, going through turns 3, 4 and 5. So maybe they should have given each other a bit more room because that's a very tight margin there. You've got to make sure your laps are absolutely perfect. And often laps are very... often your first qualifying lap's a bit shaky, as we've got Kirko, who might have damaged his front wing. Can't tell from this angle. See as he pops in. No, he might have just braked a little late, unless it's like light green or something. We're going to see if he dives in the pit lane. No, he stays out. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2, and it appears to be a Haas. No, it's not a Haas. It might be the Alpha. Hard to say. We did have a Sector 2 yellow flag. Well, I mean, if you're a Div 3 guy, so yeah, you're allowed to qualify. Unless for some reason the game's not allowing you. Anyway, JDM crosses the line to set a 1:39.4, which is a pretty damn decent time if I say so myself. That's a solid time there. We're going to await the other cars here. Fanatical sets a purple second sector, sorry, as is about expected for the McLaren driver. Oh, we've got a Williams there further down there. I think we've got a Alpine down there too. 5-place grid penalty with McNeil's. That's very unfortunate. I wonder what happened to AMAC here. What happened there? They just not give each other enough room. That's a particularly messy little incident there. Anyway, let's go back up and see what Fanatical's lap time is as he crosses the line and bit loose at the rear end there. He sets a 1:38.3, approximately 1.1 seconds quicker. We've got a Williams behind him, so we've got an Alfa Romeo in a yellow flag. It's all happening in this qualifying session. Might be JDM. As Flunky crosses the line. Oh, he starts. Oh, he might have invalidated actually. The War Machine also crosses the line to set a 1:41.3. Goffey behind him is a 1:44.0. He's going to have to head back out there and set another time if he wants to get into Q2. Because that time is definitely a ways off the other times on the leaderboard right now. Another yellow flag in Sector 1. Oh, it's all happening. It's his teammate. It's his Alfa Romeo teammate down there. I wonder what's going on down there. Welcome. Don't know what's going on down there, but Edmo sets a 1:37.9, so it might be his first race in Div 3, but he's definitely setting a strong impression by setting the current fastest time in Q1. So we have more time laps set on the board. Stroker sets a 141.7 and Coco sets a 146.3 as Goffey goes off into the Sector 1 runoff. He's got a Ferrari coming up for comfort, so hopefully he just stays out of the Ferrari's way. There's another car catching up to him though, so he's going to have to do what one of my friends did early today and absolutely send her car up, up a turn off and just wheel spin. Never seen a Skoda Octavia wheel spin until today. I've never felt one spin until today. And I don't spin cars. All the cars I've driven are front wheel drive. Can't really do much with front wheel drive cars when it involves braking traction. Everything's so heavy at the front. I've got War Machine improving though. I'm super curious to see what his time is. He sets a 140.8. Not a bad time there from him. Decent improvement there, all things considered. Kirko. Further down the field, we've got Greeny about to set a timed lap. I think Bremer's in front of him. Bremer's invalidated and is diving into the pit lane. I think we've got another car. Ain't No Kid sets a 145.5. Where's Greeny? Greeny's going into the pit lane as well. He was... Okay, he's going to set a very slow time. So I suspect maybe he's burnt his rears or something. We've got the McLarens further back of field. We had a car further down the field setting a purple time. So Fanatical dives into the pit lane. And Edmo, I think he's staying out to do a lap, or no? Judging by that, no, he's going back in. Two Ferraris up front though. Goffey improving by 0.3 of a second, but not enough for him to gain a place. So he stays in P6. Ain't No Kid who improves and sets a purple first sector. Fantastic effort there from Ain't No Kid to set a purple first sector. Which proves he might have a speed orientated setup, which wouldn't be too far removed from how Williams actually operates their car in the 2021 season. It's still a very impressive effort there for him to get all the way up there, to get the fastest first sector. It's a simplistic set of corners, but it is one that requires attention to momentum. And making sure you nail this apex here, as is shown by signs here, he nails that apex quite nicely. Although he eases off the throttle, but he's on his outlap. So he's able to get away from the luxury, thankfully. On board with Ain't No Kid, who's up 2 seconds in his middle sector. Oh, and he just invalidates. That really shouldn't invalidate your lap. That is ridiculous how that invalidates your lap. Because you can mount a lot of these curbs here and get away with it. But for whatever reason, you can't go slightly wide on that line there. I think he's actually finished, I think. No, he's gone way too far down. Maybe he's damaged his front wing process. I don't know what's going on. If he's not careful, he'll get disqualified. No, his front wing's fine. We're on board with Bremer though. Yeah, he's invalidated his lap, so I suspect he's taking it easy. He's going to cut that one there. You've got to be careful there, because if you cut too close to the start-finish line, it'll invalidate your next 2 laps. And that's never a fun thing. I've had that happen in F1 2020 in particular, when I was still adapting to strict track limits. And, no, it wasn't fun. Oh, we've got Bremer in the wall. He's somehow hit the pit lane wall. That's impressive. I mean, it is a tricky pit lane to enter, because, again, you know, it's autopilot beyond the pit limit board, but just making sure you get in there safely and at a low speed, that's not going to break the rules. Is a little bit tricky, to say the least. Nonetheless, we have 10 timed laps on the leaderboard as it stands, with wildly varying times. We've got as fast as 1:37.9 and as slow as 1:45.5. So we'll see how the people in the bottom 5 improve to get closer to the cars up into the top 4. Four is 2 seconds, whereas the gap in the bottom 6 is about 4.7 seconds. 7.3? Oh, don't worry about it. Hey, I've made errors in pit lanes as well. I've damaged my front wing exiting Monaco in Div 1 back in 2020. That wasn't fun. At that point, it was a late pit stop and I went, screw it, and I just winged it. I basically did finish that race with a broken front wing. Finished P7, I think. Yeah, back when I was good, instead of finishing P11 all the damn time. Got a yellow flag in Sector 3, it is an Alfa Romeo. It's not JDM. But we've got the 2 McLarens who have set the fastest time so far in Q1 in the pit lane. Don't feel threatened by the cars behind them. There's a significant gap between the cars behind them, so I suspect they don't have much of a rush to get back out there and waste precious soft tyres. But of course, you've got a limited allocation of soft tyres in real life F1 and in qualifying in the game. You've got 3 soft tyres, and damage one of them, comes through. So we have a Williams, I think? Ain't No Kid improved by 3 seconds to go up into P9 with a 1:42.5, so he improved by quite a margin there. So good effort from him there to improve by that much. He's definitely getting more comfortable with the track. It's a wonderful turn 4. I really need a track map there. Anyway, we now have 12 timed laps. We have signs, just like Carlos Sainz. Oh, he spun actually in the turn 2-3 complex. Fortunately, he hasn't got disqualified. Ooh. Fortunately, he was ghosted. I don't think that would have interrupted Goffey's lap too much. Sainz set it at a 1:39.3, which is very impressive. We're going to see what Goffey's invalidated anyway, so if he invalidated beforehand, it wouldn't have mattered too much, but if he invalidated as a result of that, then that's not ideal. So howdy henchman. Hope you're doing well. Let's see what Greeny's time lap is. It's looking decent. It's going to be sub 140. It's going to be a 1:39.9. It's going to be on the cusp of the sub 1 minute 40. It's as close as you'd want to get. It's good enough for P6 if we've got another yellow flag in Sector 3. It's an Alpha Tauri. It's Bremer. Oh, he bangs that sidewall there. He might have to go back into the pit lane again. Poor dude. Hasn't had much luck in this Q1 session. As it stands, though, he might still be able to stay in. He might be able to stay in Q2. Because we still have 6 cars yet to set times, although 3 are on their timed laps as it stands, which includes Flunky, who did indeed cross the line. Apparently not. 1:37.7 apparently would have given a pole. Provisional Q1 fastest. Don't know what's happened there. With McNeil's. He set a purple middle sector, so that's good effort there. The most technical part of the track, the most demanding part of the track that demands, part of the track that demands the most concentration. Circuit. He's done well to set that purple sector through this tunnel section here, which is very fun when you get it right. When you're first going around here. Although my first experience in this was F1 2018. I was annoyed because my soft tyres, my softer compound tyres, only did 25% races back then, kept overheating. Then McNeil sets a 1:40.7, which is good enough to put him into P7, 1/10 ahead of War Machine, who's currently setting a lap, but he's diving into the pit lane. So leaves us Urban Growth, who won last week's race. I believe he did. I'm forgetting these things. I believe he did win last week's race. But he's had a stellar performance. He's kept it very clean. And he's proven to be quick while at it, which is, be quick and run wide a lot of the time. But he sets a time good enough for P3 at 1:39.1. Look at that. Got a lot of 1:39s there on the timing board there. 3rd to 7th, all within about a second of each other. Very close stuff there. As McNeil's goes 2/10 quicker in Sector 1, or 2.5 tenths, almost 3/10 quicker. So, very keen on seeing how much he improves by. See if he can get himself into that 1:39 bracket, which seems to be the sort of safe spot to get into Q2, and I suspect later on will be the safe spot to get into the Q3, as in upper 1:39s, not 1:39.9, but 1:39.3. Flunky retired from session as he is a Div 2 driver, and therefore cannot qualify. I believe he was setting some outlaps. He was setting some practice laps. We're on board with Rapid Hendo, the Scotsman, and I believe the only non-Australian in Div 3, in Australian Div 3. So kudos to you for being ballsy to play with high latency against us. I suspect at points it would be a rather unfun and challenging experience to not know where the cars are on track. Sticking into Oz Div 3, giving it a rev up go. We also have European. We also have a Brit in Div 1 Australia. It's Kimi Räikkönen. He's rapid. He's a very good driver. She'll do it as well. She'll do the chat too. Growth. Cool down lap, I think. I was gonna say if he's not there, then he's like would be I'd set in the wet. Plenty of cars on track. In Sector 2, as it stands, we've got a lot of blue-coloured cars, which, if you have colour blindness that renders you, with vision difficulties of seeing the colour blue, then I do apologise in advance on behalf of Formula 1 management for being so, because Formula 1 management is stupid for having so many shades of blue I repeat this every single time I talk about these colours, but I still think it's just a stupid thing. As Urban Growth retires from session after setting the 3rd fastest lap, his teammate, it's your boy here, slowly hopping out on track. He's got Sebastian Vettel's helmet and number as well, which is a rather interesting sight. Ooh, he nearly loses it there actually. What happened there? He's got a lot of gunk on his tyres. Maybe it's simulating gunk from the dirty part of the track. Yeah, Vettel's helmet looks wonderful. I love Vettel's helmet. He's on board with Remo, who's invalidated his lap. Unfortunately, he set a purple first sector, so he had a really good first sector there. So he's got one more shot at it, I'd say, if his car's in good condition, and it is. He's got one more shot, and I reckon he's got it. So we're on board with Rapid Hendo once again. Set a decent first sector. Let's see, we've got another yellow flag in sector 1. It is a Haas. Is it unred? It is unred. He's reset the track, which is allowed in quali, but not in the race, as I found out. I thought it wasn't allowed full stop, but it is. Stops the cars in theory at peak performance. I mean, it's equal performance, so driving the same car. Sainz retires from session, as does McNeil's, having set the 5th and 8th fastest times respectively. They both feel like their times are good enough. I'm inclined to believe so myself. Their times are decent. Their times are comfortably. As Mad Dog retires, Sainz and Mad Dog are comfortably in the top 10. McNeil's is on the cusp. War Machine. On my end looked like he damaged his front wing, but I suspect that's lag. Very deep in there. He's comfortably into Q2, but given the cars behind him have set some very quick times. As Hendo goes P3 with a 1:38.5. So that was a rapid time there from Rapid Hendo there. Wonderful lap to get him up into P3 and to challenge Fanatical and to challenge that McLaren front row as it stands. Yes, Vamos, Rapid Hendo, Vamos. Wholesome saying Vamos lately because of Fernando Alonso's podium. Because the Qatar Grand Prix was actually surprisingly good. I think I mentioned this in the Div 2 commentary, but I was really impressed with the Qatar Grand Prix. It's a surprisingly decent track. It's a motorcycle track. It ended up somehow being compatible with Formula 1. And you know what? I'm happy about that. War Machine somehow doesn't run wide. He goes 2.4 seconds slower, so I don't suspect he was out there to improve. He might have been out there just to get track experience. Slows down for turn 1, which is not ideal given his teammate is behind him as Salty retires from the session, having set the 12th fastest time. Yes, this definitely should be a good race. Singapore has always provided some entertainment with races. I will not comment about Div 1 last night, but we'll just say that didn't fail to entertain either. I'm guessing it didn't fail to entertain from a viewer's point of view, not some driver's point of view. So I've got plenty of cars who've opted to finish early and to clock out and to prepare for Q2. Some of them are in more riskier positions than others, as War Machine retire. Well, does he retire from crashing? If he retired from crashing, I think he'd be out. We'll find out if he's out later on. But his time is currently best for P11. There's a big gap between him and P10 as it stands. As Ain't No Kid retires, just on the cusp of. To be fair, Ain't No Kid is in Q2. Unless this timing thing's continuing to glitch. So we're waiting for a couple of cars. Yeah, we're waiting for the AlphaTauri of Hendo, although we do have a few cars out on track. But barring one, they're all finished. I believe Goffey's actually setting a lap. Q2, let's go. Top stuff. That's Bremer! Out of nowhere. I didn't even see that. I do apologise for not seeing that. Even you set a purple first sector, I knew that you had a lot of pace in you, and you set a 1:38.1. So that's incredible. That's a fantastic lap there. Get you into E2 in Q1. Only one of 4 cars to get into the 1:38 bracket. So that's a mighty lap there from Bremer. And that means it's kind of a Noah's Ark. It's kind of the opposite. Oh, well, it's the opposite of Noah's Ark. But anyway, we've got Edmo in the McLaren in P1, Bremer in the AlphaTauri in P2, Fanatical in the McLaren in P3, Hendo in the AlphaTauri in P4. While we figure out what's going on with this game here, I suspect it's your boy here might have to leave the session. What's going on here? This is actually driving. That throttle map is looking a little. It's on the soft side though, so maybe Maybe it's mod driving, hard to say. But, anyway. Just wait and find out what's going on, as my timing board says 20 seconds, roughly. 20 seconds now. I don't know. What, like, because I get the feeling it might be a bit later for everyone else. I don't know why this game does that, but it's just another wonderful bug that F1 2021 has. At this point in time, F1 2020 was more stable. In November 2020, good times by the way, F1 2020 was a lot more stable. Nah, he's definitely trying to get there in time, I think. Unless... Fuck, that's just not getting this way as well. Yeah, timers, yeah. Yeah. Doesn't remotely surprise me that the timing is screwed there. He's invalidated his lap anyway, so I don't know if he's going to set a lap. But I don't know how much longer we've got left now. I'm screwed. It's either he's not going to make it or he's making a mad dash to make sure he makes it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be honest. No, he's diving into the pit lane. Leaves 2 cars out, so I wonder what will happen when he goes into the pit lane. Oh, he's crawling back out of pit lane. What's going on here? Again, broken. Again. We've got Sergio Perez in the pit lane apparently. No, he's retired from session. Alright, thank you for doing that. Yeah, Sergio Perez in P20. Man, that Red Bull, that second Red Bull seat's cursed, I'll tell you that. With all credit to Perez though, he's actually been pretty good these last few Grand Prix. He's definitely been the number 2 driver they've been asking for. So anyway, without further ado, here's your top 10, or the cars that made it through. So we've got Edmo in the McLaren, Bremer in the AlphaTauri, Fanatical in the McLaren, Hendo in the AlphaTauri, Urban Growth in the Aston Martin, JDM in the Alpha, Sainz and Mad Dog in the 2 Mercedes respectively, Greeny in the Haas, McNeil's in your Red Bull round out your top 10. Further down the field, we've got War Machine in the Williams, the 2 Ferraris of Stroker Race and RNG Salty, the Haas of Hummingbird, and eliminated Ain't No Kid in the Williams, Goffey in the Alpine, Kirko in the Alpine, and it's your boy here along with Flunky. So those are your people out in Q1. We now await everyone to press A to continue and advance into Q2. Even if you're out, you still got to do that. Because again, whoever designed this game didn't think this through at all. So, god damn. And there we go, I've got 20-second countdown to Q2. So it should be an interesting qualifying session given the brevity of times we had, but also how close it is between certain pockets in this field. You notice that though, even in all the divisions, you notice pockets of very close times to each other in Div 1 and Div 2. I remember in Div 2 on Monday, I think there was 2 people who set identical times, which is definitely amazing on this track. On Monza it'd be like, okay, yeah, but here, with all its technicalities and everything, it's like, wow, okay, you did that. So, yeah. I wonder if Sergio Perez is going to line up P20 though. Anyway, gotta rename all this. Boink. And boink. 1 sec. On board with Greeny, who behind him is an AlphaTauri of Bremer, and behind him is Greeny's teammate, Bird 2. So we've got 3 cars out on track already. The number 2 Haas, the number 2 AlphaTauri, and the number 13 Haas. I wonder, we're already getting a yellow flag, I'm not sure what's going on. Oh dear. Poor Bremer. Not the start he was aiming for. Nonetheless, he can get back into the pit lane and there's time on his side, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that damage. As the 2 Haases, just like they do in Q1, follow each other down track. I need to burp. Yep, sorry about that, but you gotta burp, you gotta burp. Anyway. Anyway, so let's watch. Not much is going to happen, obviously, because they're all on outlaps. Nearly everyone is on an outlap, actually. Barring the Aston Martin and the Mercedes of Sainz. Oh, hang on, no, both Mercedes. Actually, apparently... Yeah, both Mercedes are in the pit lane. That's interesting. Don't know why I'm so tired. It's only 9 o'clock. Then again, I've been up since about 10, which is a new record for me. That's my favourite anyway. 37%, nice. Very nice. That's decent. My new phone's been good with battery life, although it's been inferior with a lot of other things. I should actually be checking on the cars on track. Got a yellow flag in sector 3. Not sure what's caused that. It was a Ferrari, actually. Salty's just died back into the lane. His team is out there in sector 3. Maybe Salty had some damage. He is slowing and Endo in front of him. So be careful there, McNeil's going to get black validated. Hopefully they give each other the space, although Hendo dives in the pit lane along with McNeil's actually, so that's interesting. So plenty of cars coming out and then diving back in. Maybe they're wanting the swaps as softs. Maybe they're like, nah. Maybe they don't like the feel of the medium tyre in the qualifying trim. Because the cars are obviously quicker in qualifying and obviously take things a bit faster. So if your setups are on a bit of a knife's edge, you're obviously more prone to spinning out. So my guess is a lot of people are coming back in to change the soft tyre. We're on board with JDM and have been for the last 10 seconds or so. Watch him set a 27.3 in the first sector. Further down the field, Fanatical set the purple first sector. Greeny set purple middle sector, so that's interesting. They're on different tyre compounds though. So it'll be very interesting to see how their times compare when they cross the line, because it looks like they're about to diverge in a similar window of lap times there. They might be surprisingly close to each other, things considered. With Greeny now, he's going to set the first timed lap of Q2. Crosses those last double left-hander there to set a 1:38.9. So he was on the cusp of the 140s, just hovered under it, and now he's set a Fanatical sets a purple middle sector. But anyway, yeah, so he's now just hovering just below the 139s now. So Q3, if he gets into Q3, it'd be, oh, there's a broken front wing there. Odd. Guess that might have been the Williams up in front as Fanatical invalidates his lap time from mounting the curb a little too much. But fortunately, he can go back out again. Buoyed by being on the mediums, his time would have been a 1:38.2, 1:38.3, which would have put him in Q1 as JDM behind him sets a 1:39.7. So he's got a bit of time to catch up, but there is a disparity there in that Greeny set his time on the softs and JDM set his time on the mediums. The stroke race behind him sets a 1:41.2. And Edmo goes even quicker on the medium tire and sets a 1:38.0. So, very competitive outing there from Edmo on his first Div 3 weekend, or Div 3. I should say, it's not weekend. These things don't take place over a weekend, and if they did, oh my god, my throat would be dead. Fun fact, well, not really a fun fact, you know the feeling. I guess nearly everyone in life would have a sore throat at least once in their lives, but I had a sore throat 2 weeks ago and did commentary, and obviously it felt worse, and then I was starting to recover a bit, and then on that Wednesday last week, it was just finishing up its process of healing, and it got a little bit worse, and I was just like, ah, great, but it seems to be fine now. Hopefully it is. We've got Mad Dog coming out on that lap. Sainz down just past his one timing zone. Got Stroker Race in the wall. It's just trying to get back on safely and to not interrupt anyone's laps. Has not sustained damage though, so I wonder what happened there. It's always interesting when you see cars going off and not getting any damage, because you wonder if they braked a bit too late, or if they've just simply misjudged. This Fanatical looks like he hit the wall there. He's flying through the double left-hander and sets a 1:37.9, 10th quicker than his teammate. Good enough P1 and Q2. So excellent stuff there from the McLaren duo once again to set a front row lockout for the McLaren duo in so far in consecutive qualifying sessions. Although in Q1 it ended up being a sort of weird warped Noah's Ark affair of McLaren AlphaTauri. Edmo's coming back out to set another timed lap on his mediums. Of course, he can't do that in the medium tyre because they do last. Unlike the Swiss cheese soft tyre. Remember at F1 2018? I remember in the 2018 season they had like 7 compounds, and since 2019 they simplified it. That was such an easy way. That was like such a good way for me to properly recognise everything in F1. Like, because before that, 7 compound tyres plus the 2 wet ones just confused the hell out of me. And then in 2019 onwards, they've just had the 3 plus the 2 wet ones. The stroke race runs a little wide there, but I'm guessing he's out for another big lap as Bird retires from session. Out on track as well. Got a McLaren catching up to him. Which McLaren is it? It is Fanatical. So we'll get to see what happened to Bird. I'm guessing he might have spun on the curb here and... Oh, it looks like he did. Yeah, it looks like he spun and maybe hit that wall. Fanatical's gone a bit wide, presumably to let his teammate through who was setting a fast lap. Yeah, he's absolutely setting a fast lap. Look at his corner exit there. Some wild stuff there. He goes faster by half a second in the middle sector. So these McLaren guys are absolutely dominating this weekend so far, on this race. So McNeil sets the 5th fastest time of 1:39.8. Oh, and Struck Race behind him. Struck Race behind in Sector 1. Goes reversing all the way down there. Somehow doesn't sustain any damage. Not sure what happened there. There's a Williams further down, and that's War Machine going past him, who sets a purple first sector on the soft tyre. So decent effort by him there to set that, as Edmo goes even quicker and sets a 1:37.2. So that's ridiculous. That's a very fast time. It's a second and a half quicker than the nearest non-McLaren car. So these McLaren guys absolutely dominating this as it stands. We'll see if that will convert into race pace. So far, the quality pace has been unmatchable borderline. Bremer, who's setting a timed lap. Got a yellow flag in sector 2, from what appears to be a Ferrari. The sole Ferrari running, standing at the moment out on the track. Go back on board with Sector 2. I can't believe I forgot who we were on board with. It was Bremer. But Mad Dog is in the wall. Hasn't sustained any damage. He's going to be burning up those rear tyres though. If you put too much effort in spinning up those rears, you're just going to slide around. Bremer is catching up. Actually, no, Bremer's actually gotten past him. It's very interesting to see what Bremer sets as a time. His deploy's been used up as he hits through the double left-hander. Sets a 1:37.9. So very close to Fanatical's time there, very close. Quite enough to break the McLaren front row lockout. So Urban Growth goes back into the garage on the medium tyre, as does Mad Dog, who I assume has some damage. Side sets a purple second sector. Decent effort there from him. We're going to go on board with him real quick. See what his time is. We're going to see how he handles this upcoming string of corners. Goes through the tunnel section rather nicely, if I say so myself. Goes a little wide out of the exit. Gives him a good position, gives him optimal track position to dive in nicely on that chicane. So he comes up to the double left-hander here. Mounts the curb nicely, doesn't hit the outside curb. So it's a 1:39.8. Unfortunately, only good enough for P7. It's super close to McNeil's in P6, so there's positions to be gained here through just a little bit of refinement. He can go back out. Kirks makes it, although you're the other McLaren driver, unless you are joining in under a different team, I think someone's taking his seat. Greeny's improved in the middle sector on the medium tyre, which is interesting. So he's improved on his time. He's definitely found something. Definitely gained a little bit of track knowledge there from those laps. Hopefully he can put it all together to set a lap propel him further up the grid. He's got about a second to third place right now. He gets into with about half a second. He's going to be comfortably in fourth as it stands. So see how he handles his double left-hander. His deployment's been used. He's setting that looks good. So it's a 1:35.8. He's only a tenth up. Still improved on the medium tyre, which is very nice. It's a good thing to be able to do in Q2, especially if you make it in the top 10. Because then, of course, that's your starting tyre. If you're in the top 10, yeah, it is what it is. On board with JDM, who's on another outlap to improve from his provisional P5 with 3 minutes to go on the clock. 3 minutes 30 specifically. His Sainz improves by 3/10. So he might be climbing up his Watty depending on how many nails in his last few corners. A little slow it seems, so he might lose a little bit of time if anything. But if he nails his double left-hander, oh, and he loses the rear, oh, he destroys his car. It's very unfortunate there. The rear was super loose in those last two corners, and unfortunately he couldn't keep it under control. Very unfortunate there for Sainz. As a consolation prize, he'll be able to start on any tyre he wants, so he can adapt his strategy around that so he wishes. As he wishes, sorry, not so he wishes, but as he wishes. As far as checking my messages further down below, and it doesn't appear that we've had much changes in the timing, although we've had Stroker and Salty set times respectively. Good enough for P7 and P9. But Urban Growth, Mad Dog, and Hendo are the only ones who have not set times yet. On board with Hendo. He's crossing the line, he's going to set something in the high 30s. 138.8, good enough for P5 there. It's like nearly a Noah's Ark of McLarens and AlphaTauris. Just by like a fraction of a tenth there. Urban Growth sets a time good enough for P6 with a 139.438. It's a good time there for a medium tyre. Flag in sector 2, and I believe it's Mad Dog slowing. Not sure what happened there, but he has no front wing. That's confirmed it for us as War Machine retires from the session in P11. So he's not going to make it unless he's just waiting to finish it up early because he knows he can't get out on track. That's my guess. The Stroke Race improves by just a little bit under a tenth. I think it'll be enough, but we'll see how he handles his sector 3. Because again, he nearly invalidates there, but as I've been mistaken, you can take a generous amount of curb on there. Yeah, P1 is very quick. No, he's super quick. That's a comfortable gap ahead of anyone else in front of him. In fact, his gap might be so extreme that if Vorno or anyone else, El Kahoot, you know, if any of you guys are watching, you might be like, hey, hang on a minute, and put him in Div 2 then. Stroke Race improves by 3/10, which is not enough to get him into P11 as Mad Dog retires from session. Likely crashed out, I think. Or, well, hard to say, no. Straight up, he's lost his front wing, and I think he's just going to cross the line with the 147.8 that he set. He's opted to not improve on that, as we have McNeil's looking to improve and to propel himself further up, although there is no need for him to do that as he's in Q3. But he still improves by just a fraction under a tenth of a second. JDM loses a bit of time on the mediums in the sector 2. Growth's about to cross the line, although Urban Growth will not improve. He must have had like an outlap and just wanted to cross the line. And improves by 2/10. back, sorry about that. It's from Bob Big Deals, who invalidates his lap anyway, so he can't improve and he starts on the medium tyres anyway. Just wait for him and Stroker Race, I believe, are on in laps now. Wait and see. I see one there. He's like, see, you've been attentively watching this season Div 2. Anyway, you're gonna see Stroker Race cross the line, and that completes Q2 for you. We only got 8 cars in Q3 off the back of some retirements, some untimely retirements, I might add. But as it stands, we'll be going with the results shortly. So the cars that are made, we've got 9 cars that are made. We've got Edmo continuing his run of finishing his qualifying sessions in first so far. Can he convert that into pole position in Q3? We will find out. Fanatical, his teammate behind him, making in a McLaren 1-2 in Q2. Behind him is Bremer. Then further back is Greeny, Hendo, Urban Growth, JDM, McNeils, and Salty. Eliminated from the session are Signs from a Crash, War Machine, Stroker Race, Mad Dog, and Umberbird, who did not set a time. So that's your top 9. Would say top 10, but unfortunately we had only 9 cars finish because, of course, we've had accidents. So, unfortunately there for Signs, but nonetheless, that gives him a good starting position. And he's shown that he can convert that into podiums. He's shown he's been able to come back from further down the grid and convert that to podiums. Onward onto Q3. Session will start in 40 seconds, I think, barring some. Alright, so Q3 is starting. We've got the 12-minute countdown beginning. 9 cars. Only 1 can start on pole. Of course, 2 can start in the front row, and the front row is obviously the even battleground, I'd say. Just the way pole, is bragging rights. It just depends on who gets the better start. So we've got a Ferrari and a McLaren, and it looks like a Red Bull, along with the second McLaren. Although, from that bug, it looks like the McLaren just wanted to dive back in. He's just like, nope. Haas. Got a lot of cars coming out on track. I think it's about 5 of them. I've got the Alfa Romeo of JDM behind him. And that looks to be about it. We've got the Alpha Tauri of Bremer and Urban Growth hiding in the pit lane, just biding their time, waiting for the track to clear up, as there's plenty of traffic up ahead from the other 7 cars that have opted to join. Although, one of them has joined, and I believe that is Urban Growth. Oh no, is it? It's an Alpha Tauri. Sorry, it's Hendo. Or is it? Yeah, it is indeed Hendo coming out. So it was both Alpha Tauris for a while there. So the only car to stay in the pit lane currently is Ex-Bremer's Alpha Tauri. The Honda-powered Odyssey. Yeah, Honda was the reason why I kind of got back in F1. Well, not the reason, but it was up there. It's cool to see them start doing well again. I've always liked an underdog, as Urban Growth nearly loses it there. Keeps the back end under control there. I suspect he might be warming up his tyres a little bit too aggressively. Given those softs are made out of Swiss cheese, premium grade Swiss cheese, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily rely on them to keep your car safe and in traction for longer than 2 laps. So we've got a Haas off to the side there. Has the Haas sustained any damage? The sole Haas into Q3. When was the last time a Haas made it into Q3 in actual F1? I know they didn't make it into Q3 in 2020, but amusingly enough, the Alfa Romeo did once in 2020, thanks to the Turkish Grand Prix being wet. I think Giovinazzi and Raikkonen got 6th and 8th respectively. I'm actually going to check the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix for that, actually. that while my new phone streams. Let's have a quick look. In qualifying, it was Kimi Raikkonen in P8 and Antonio Giovinazzi in P10. At the end there, with of course Lance Stroll on pole position. So I'm going to check the 2019 Formula One World Championship. Actually, let me check Haas. Haas at one team. T. He sets a purple first sector, so good effort there from him. Although I think an AlphaTauri behind him has spun. Bremer spun a few times this weekend, Bremer, but he hasn't DNF'd and he's gotten to Q3, so he's doing something right. He's got the pace. Greeny now. Fanatical further down the field. Validated. Got Growth setting a 27-1, sorry. As Edmo is going through the motions as well. Salty will be the first to cross the line here. We're going to watch Salty's last two corners, the double left-hander. Used up his deployment, mountains that curb a little bit and sets a 138.8 exactly. Edmo behind him will set a 137.3. Nearly loses the rear there a little bit. That was a very unstable rear end as JDM behind him sets a 138.5. Now go to Greeny. He's about to cross the line. Let's see what time he sets. He sets a 138.8. Just 10 milliseconds between him and Salty there. It's a super close time between those two. Further back in the field, we've got Urban Growth. We've got Bremer starting his timed lap. We've got Urban Growth, and we've got Hendo. I don't know what happened to Hendo there, but he's absolutely lost it somewhere. Urban Growth is coming down to be the next car to cross the timed line. I'm going to look up when Haas was last in Q3 in real F1. I'm going to continue that search. They have exactly 200 points in F1 too, which is a fact. Further buoyed by the fact that they haven't scored any points this season. They also apparently have a driver development program. As Urban Growth sets a time good enough for P3, his time is a 138.710. The other three cars of Pitt, Fanatical, McNeil's and Hendo, although they look to be all coming back out. We're on board with Bremer now. Just going to set another time as we've got a yellow flag further down. Not sure what for. We're on board with Bremer once again. Austria 2019, thank you for letting me know about that. Was it really that long ago? And we last had a Haas in Q3. Seriously? Let's back that up. So yes, Kevin Magnussen had a stormer of a lap, didn't he? He actually qualified 5th. He started 10th though, because of a gearbox change. And in the race, the Haas's, so 5th, but 10th, and Kevin Magnussen retired from that race. Oh, it was 2 laps down, sorry. There was no retirements at that Grand Prix, and he finished 19th, 2 laps down. Wow. That's not good at all. As Bremer has invalidated his lap, unfortunately, but would have finished last of the runners anyway with a 140.9, so I suspect he's heading back out there. Going to give it another go with the limited ERS that he has left. But yeah, oh, they got P5. No, you might be thinking, hang on a minute. Haas, yeah, Grosjean qualified 11th. Of course, Grosjean finished 16th. So yeah, those Haas's, man, they fell off hard. Something was not right with those cars, man. You can tell from even then. As Bremer sets a purple sector 1, repeating that for the second time this session, actually. See, he's whatever he's doing there with sector 1, he's definitely nailed that whole timing thing down. I'm not sure if my stream lagged out there, if that's just his internet. It appears to be his internet, judging by my stream on my phone. Yeah, I need to see more into Haas's qualifying history if I'm going to be super curious. It couldn't have been Austria 2019. They've had some good finishes. Oh, well, 2 races later they had their last double points finish of the season, finishing 7th and 8th in Germany. A notably chaotic race, and then of course the last point scoring thing they had of that season was Russia, where Magnussen finished P9. And of course the Haas's were out of the points beyond that. So yeah, the Haas's, man. slippery. That was another team I liked in 2018 though, when I was getting back in F1. Toro Rosso and Haas were like the two teams I liked. And of course, since then it's become mostly the Red Bull boys. So Bremer and Valdez, his lap time again. I think he's damaged his front wing this time around. We're going to see. This is a good camera angle to determine that. Maybe. Maybe it's light green. But on the soft tyre. Still can't believe the Haas lost off. What was it? Okay, so the last Williams Q3 was obviously this year, because they've done it twice, 3 times now, thanks to George Russell. And of course, the last Alpha Q3 was, yeah, Turkey 2020. I think Turkey 2020, or was it Monaco this year? Because I know Antonio got into Q3 once. So, look at that. Quick look at Monaco qualifying. But not many cars out on track right now. Only McNeil's setting a timed lap, whereas Edmo wants to continue his impressive run in qualifying, cement that even further by improving on his already very impressive lap time, as we're going to go on board with him right now. At least the first sector, because McNeil's is not far from crossing the line. So we'll go on board with him and see how he nails his first sector. The wheels a little unstable there. Handled it well nonetheless. See if it's good enough for purple. Yes, it is. 26.5. So that's a very good first sector there. McLaren's might have held each other up there a little bit, actually. Wheels, I think, invalidated his lap, unfortunately. His fanatical looks okay to me. God, I remember watching Monaco qualifying, drinking with friends back in May. Oh man, what a weird year this is. Qualifying. I was correct, Antonio Giovinazzi did get P10. So yeah, that might be their last Q3 appearance, although unless Raikkonen got there. Edmo improves in Sector 2 by 2/10, almost 3/10. Head to the Russian Grand Prix and see. I know Russell got P3. No, Alfa Romeo's up there. This looks like it's going to be a very quick lap time. It might even be in the 136s. It's just missing out in the 136s, but Edmo improves to set a 137.0, 1.5 seconds quicker than provisional P2 as it stands. So his front row competitor is 1.5 seconds down from him. Though Fanatical is starting his timed lap. Might be alongside him. We'll have to wait and see, as this might be the only lap Fanatical will set. So he's going to make a biggest impression with his only lap. Niels is out on track. Also setting a time. It doesn't look like it's going to be touching on P5. It might just be on the cusp of it. We're going to go on board. It's a 139.002. Once again, there's Bremer further back, starting another timed lap. Endo is invalidated, but we'll have enough time to come back around and start another lap. Oh, Fanatical's retired from session. He's crashed. So that means that's not going to be a McLaren front row. On board with Hendo, sorry, I was just managing some Discord stuff. Let's see what his lap's good enough to put him on the grid. Salty retires. I believe there's enough time. No, qualifying is just finished actually, as JDM cannot improve. Well, he's still in the pits actually, so he didn't go back out. Edmo goes back into the pit lane. Go on board with Hendo. There's Bremer on the wall. So Bremer is also retired, so we're not going to see that weird McLaren AlphaTauri thing from Q1. What we are going to see though is, unless Hendo can beat Edmo for pole position, find out if Hendo can actually beat him, because he's been very high up there in the standings. He might be able to challenge. He's the only car out there setting a time as it stands. Urban Growth retired from session, having set the third fastest time. So on board now, he goes through those tunnels, that tunnel section very nicely. Goes through these S's a little bit cautiously, but cautious is better than risky in some cases. Comes around the double left-hander, eases off the accelerator just a little bit and sets a 1:38.1. So congratulations to Edmo. Embo. I forgot his name already, I'm so stupid. Anyway, congratulations to Edmo there, setting pole by nearly a second there over second place Rapid Hendo, whose lap was very rapid, if I say so myself. Good enough for P2. 1 second down though, that's absolutely dominant in Q3, in Div 3 in general, but further down the field you've got JDM and Urban Growth on the second row. Third row is Greeny and Salty. Fourth row is McNeils and Fanatical, and the fifth row is Bremer and Signs. So of course Signs crashed in P10 and of course could not partake in Q3. So only 7 cars set times there, the other 2 crashed out, but they will still start in the top 9. So now we await the race itself. Not much longer to go now. A full 31 laps in Singapore. We're now waiting for the countdown to continue to finish its thing. Alright, here we go. Just waiting for JDM to load in. Not sure what's happened there. Sometimes these things do happen. He might have to quit and rejoin the session if he can't load in soon. Never mind, he's in. We've got 5 lights out. There is no formation lap on. It's charged to turn 1. Let's see how this all handles itself here. Let's see if all these drivers can compose themselves and prevent accidents. Lights out and away we go. Hendo handles himself quite nicely there, although there's a little bit of contact further back. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1 already. I think we're missing some front wings. Or somehow everyone's gotten away cleanish. Fanatical starting dead last actually, so something has happened with Fanatical. I'm not sure who else was involved there, but Perks is in the race in the Red Bull, so he's joined, having missed qualifying. He's on board and joined this race in the Red Bull for this singular event. Not much changed here, not much has changed further up the field. We've got Signs and Mad Dog swapping places along with War Machine. It's a boy here. We've got an Alpine running very wide there. Goffy, I think. No Kids running P20. Oh, we're seeing a lot of heavy contact there between... Wow! That was very dangerous there from Fanatical. I don't know why he dive-bombed Kirko and Ecno Kid, but made a very aggressive move there to climb up 2 places as I'm a Bird in front. Doesn't have a front wing. And Greeny and Salty have penalties for collisions. There's a virtual safety car. That might be why they got penalties there. But a bit messy further back of field, which it typically is in these leagues sometimes, because just off the back of Fanatical has no front wing now either. But it's usually off the back of just everyone being so much more closer to each other and try and take advantage of every little gap that they can. And sometimes it just results in accidents. As we see Fanatical crashing into the side of I'm a Bird, so that wasn't very professional at all. Not very professional, sporting at all, unfortunately. But he's now retired from the race on lap 1 as a result of that. So we might have a safety car now. Hard to say. But we've still got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3 as Edmo flies away. It's the fastest lap. Of course, that was affected with virtual safety cars, so obviously it definitely not improved. Salty goes into the pit lane. There's tons of places from no front wing, I'm pretty sure. Kirk's behind him, and I'm a bird further down the field, along with Kirko pitting. So a lot of cars diving in the pits for front wing changes and so on and so forth. As it stands further up the field, it's been relatively stable. Greeny is really the only one close to anyone right now. And sorry, my bad. Signs gets past Stroker Race for a wonderful pass there. And Mad Dog looks to dive down the inside as well and get past him very comfortably there, although runs a little bit wide on the exit there. Stroker Race gets back past him, so wonderful exchange between these two here. Clean and respectful, unlike a certain lap 1 incident. So good on those two there. Quality racing between them. They can keep that going for the whole race. Mears and Bremer alongside each other there, going into a very, very risky part of this track. Further up a field, it's very close between JDM Urban Growth and Greeny. Oh, we've got more damage further back afield. I think it's Stroker Race actually. He's damaged his front wing end plate. Not sure what happened there, but it might have been close contact between Signs and Mad Dog. It might have been just from braking slightly later. Oh, when we've got Bremer in the wall now. Front wing damage. He's just going to wait for all the cars to pass by. But unfortunately for Bremer, his front wing is completely missing. And we've got another virtual safety car. Yeah, look, I was going to say, Reedy, I'm not going to hand down my judgment there. That was definitely not on. You know, not on, but it was caught live. So, unfortunately, he's just going to have to, you know, that was unfortunate for him, a bird there, that he was a victim of that. But Fanatical's just going to have to deal with the consequences of that. And we'll leave that up to the stewards. We'll leave that up to the big boys to determine what will happen as a result of that. So, yeah, I do agree with Flunky starting last lap. Still a virtual safety car ongoing, which has effectively neutralised any race. It's racing, although JDM has appeared to completely disconnected from the session, which is complicating things for Urban Growth and Greeny behind him. This virtual safety car is still ongoing. What tyres are everyone on? As we go further down a field, seeing plenty of cars. I don't think we're seeing a single soft runner as it stands. I think we've got about 15, estimated about 3/4 of the grid are running soft. The top 5, DRS has been enabled. We have yellow flags in every sector apparently. Yes, top 10. Oh, sorry, Itsy Boy here's the only one in the top 10 not running the medium tyre. He's running the hard tyre, so he's going to go longer distance. Flunky behind him's on the hards. Goffy behind him's on the softs. Ain't no kids. E13 on the hards. Stroke Race on the hards. Bremer's on the mediums. Got another yellow flag. War Machine's retired from session. He spun and crashed it. Sector 2. That might be a full safety car. Hard to say, given we've had 2 virtual safety cars already. It's been a very stop-start nature to this race so far. But unfortunately, these things just happen sometimes. But anyway, further down the field, we've got plenty more medium runners. Well, yeah, we've got plenty more, 2 more to be exact. And Salty currently last of the runners, although he's set to gain a position off the back. Boy here's run off, maybe been pushed off. Does he have front wing damage? He doesn't appear to have front wing damage. So what happened there? Maybe Goffy, maybe. Hard to say. Couldn't see what happened. What did Fanatical do? If you go further back, once the vod's up, he some incidents further back down the field, he ended up without a front wing and then effectively took himself out by crashing into a bird. Salty gains a position back of War Machine's retirement. Bremer now has a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He's behind Stroker Race in P14 at the moment, and he's behind Stroker Race with 3-1. Loses the rear a little bit. The momentum that Bremer has over Stroker Race gives him that position, so that's a decent pass there from Bremer. They gave each other enough space as Perks sets the fastest lap on the hard tyre. And we've got another yellow flag in Sector 2, although it appears to have eased itself up. Caden comes out, Itsy Boy here comes out on the medium tyre, having pit twice already. Bird is about 2 and a bit seconds, now about 1 bit seconds, no, 2 seconds exactly behind. That's that. So as it stands on lap 4 of 31, the points paying positions. The drivers in those are Edmo, Hendo, JDM, yellow flag. McNeils is retired from session. He's crashed. It's likely spun, I think. So that's a full-blown safety car. So we've had nearly a safety car a lap so far. So we've got 3 retirements on lap 4. Very unfortunate there for McNeil's there, as I'm sure what happened, he probably had the rig give out on him, as has happened to quite a few cars, quite a few people this race, in this qualifying session. This car did spawns. So as a result, ain't no kid. It's up in P10. Let's see if we can get up to position changes. Position changes. Flunky has gained the most positions of everyone here. He's gained 11 places off the back of Mad Dog Pitting, who's originally 10. The next biggest gainer is Ain't No Kid, who has gained 9 positions since he started. So good job there from Ain't No Kid to keep it consistent and to keep it out of trouble. Keep his car out. Keep his Williams, out of trouble. Cement himself into P10. The other movers further down the field are Perks, who's gained 7 positions after starting dead last from not participating in qualifying from joining late. It's fair enough. So decent effort from him there, and of course 5 positions from Goffey, and 4 between Science and Mad Dog. It's just coming out Perks has gained 8. Anyway. So while we're under the safety car, I'll find some Singapore track facts, if I'm going to be honest. Should I? Should I? Shouldn't I? I don't know. There's not much going on. Of course, we've got safety cars. So still under the safety car. I suspect we'll be under there for at least another lap. And we go on to actually Singapore GP facts. Singapore.gp. That might take me to a weird website. Although it might take me to the official website actually. Singapore GP facts. There you go. Let's get some factoid stuff up. Just 4 drivers have shared victories at the 12 Singapore Grand Prix. How old is this stat sheet? Of course, the last race was 2019. Oh, this is June 4, 2021. Right. Yes, it is the first night race on the calendar. Obviously, we know a lot of F1 fans do know that because of its 1-2 punch out of it being the first night race and obviously Crashgate happening all on the same first race. So, very interesting stuff. Public roads. Yes, it's a public circuit. Yeah, there you go. Just 4 drivers have shared victories at the 12 Singapore Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel, 2011, 2013, so he won 2011, 2012, and 2013. 2015 and 2019. Lewis Hamilton, 2009, 2014, 2017, 2018. Fernando Alonso in 2008 and 2010, and Nico Rosberg in 2016. The safety car has made at least 1 appearance in every Singapore Grand Prix, which is kind of ironic, actually, considering we've had 2 VSCs and 1 full safety car, so I guess we're kind of keeping in tone with that. Spare a thought for the drivers who endure sauna-like conditions. Hey, I was correct. So I was 100% correct. Approximately 1,600, custom floodlights spread around the kilometre circuit. That's interesting. No more than 3 DNFs have been... Really? Only 3 DNFs? That's weird. I was not expecting that to... be so little DNFs despite the amount of safety cars. Maybe it's debris or something? Yeah, hang on a minute. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense. How's there only been 3 retirements? 3D, like... Well, by that logic, then all 3 DNFs were from the 2017 Grand Prix. Which doesn't add up because there was 1 in 2019. Anyway, safety cars in this lap. We're on lap 6 of 31. We're going to find out how the safety car restart's going to be handled, because Edmo has dominated that first position since the start, frankly, all weekend. wobbling very closely behind the safety car there. The safety car peels away and he's not in any mood to hold up the field. He just wants to fly. Although he's held up a little bit there by the safety car peeling in. Although, I don't know what happened there. Safety car was just finishing peeling in, actually. But nonetheless, Hendo got the better start of the two, and Flunky gets ahead of Ain't No Kid. So good move there from Flunky to get ahead of Ain't No Kid for P7 as Ain't No Kid holds P8. Stands, but Mad Dog gets on the inside as Urban Growth spins off. Suspect maybe he might have been pushed a bit there, difficult to say. But he has no front wing, unfortunately, and he'll have to go back in the box. Aston Martin's have had no luck here. Myself. Anyway, God, it's a battle for three here. There's a three-way battle going down here. As Into Boy here dives down the inside of Stroker Race, and Stroker Race just gets on the wheel a little bit and spins. So they go a little too close for each other's comfort there, and unfortunately Stroker Race comes out worse of the two. Kid and Into Boy here. Ain't No Kid's holding off from Into Boy here. Wow. A lot of movement going on in Sector 2, not usually a part of the track you'd see overtaking on, but it stands. The Kid's valiantly holding on to P8 as Into Boy here attempts to dive down the inside there as Bremer's not very far behind at all. Into Boy here gets a better line out, but is held up a little bit as Kid's is a bit slower off the line, backs off entirely actually. Moves up P8, Bremer sneaks past for P9. Front wing damage now between Perks and Ain't No Kid. I'm not sure what's going on there, but there's definitely been some damage. Ain't No Kid gets a warning for that dive. Perks now doesn't have a front wing end player, which just makes things worse. Perks is in behind him now. Unbird sneaks past for P10. Goffy isn't far behind him and is set to likely gain as Edmo sets the fastest lap of the race. And Perks loses his front wing entirely. He's absolutely going to have to go pit. Stroker Race spins on that curb. Very easy to spin on those curbs. Adjusts himself back. Urban Growth behind us. Just like. Dives Mad Dog and Sign swap places further up the field. DRS has been enabled though, I think. No, DRS has not been enabled apparently. Signs would have had it. Up in front though, Edmo has nearly got a 2-second lead over Hendo in P2. JDM is a further 2.6 seconds back. So many gaps between the podiums right now. He's threatening for that podium place right now. But he has a penalty over his head, which does complicate things quite a bit on these tracks when the gaps are very close. As I saw in Div 1, super close. P5. Scoffy gets ahead into the points, but they don't keep it behind. What happened there? It's close, they're fighting nearly alongside each other within half a second. Hendo's gap to Edmo is now 2 seconds. So Hendo's lost a bit of time there to Edmo. Lost about 4/10 of a second roughly. JDM still Hendo there. Got the pass. Oh, that is Armour Bird. Has he got no front wing? Damage. I can't see. I know I see an end plate gone. He's nearly gonna hit the wall there. As RNG Salty gets a penalty. He's far behind. As Edmo sets another fastest lap. He's trying to get past Ain't No Kid here, but it's very difficult to pass on this bit of the track. We're gonna go find out really quick if Armour Bird has it. Yeah, he absolutely does have an end plate missing. Further down the field here, let's see who has DRS. As Greeny is likely the first recipient of DRS, we have Armour Bird in the wall again. I think Armour Bird's from session actually. Look, no. Border Green is too far back to make a move. Back the closest is It's a Boy here. Has been yellow flag in sector 3, and I believe that is Ain't No Kid. Likely he's very slow. As Bremer leaves a session for some reason. I suspect due to technical difficulties, It's a Boy here looks down the inside of Signs, but isn't close enough to make a move. Nonetheless, he still remains very close to the P7 driver. Further down the field. On. All the closest battles are within the points paying positions. So everyone further afield is 2.5 or more seconds further apart. So distances of the cars have been kept further apart from each other from their staggered pit stops from a result of damage. There's been a lot of front wings replaced. Tell you what, there's been a lot of carbon fibre damage. There's a lot of carbon fibre related expenses this weekend if this was an actual weekend of Formula 1, but unfortunately it is not. It is just a game. Roll. Bird is in the pit lane now. Dead last and will likely be lapped actually, unfortunately. As Kirko retires from session, see if that's damage. It's a full safety car, so it absolutely is. Wow. He's slammed straight into that tyre barrier there. It's brought out the second safety car of this race on lap 9 of 31. It slows to a crawl to get within the delta. It's behind him. Bird has multiple warnings and has indeed been lapped by by Mad Dog, Flunky, Greeny, JDM, Hendo. Got hit in the wall now. Does he have a front wing? He's reversing up. Spent a long time reversing up there. Good thing those reverse gears work in these cars. Oh, he does have a missing end plate. He has a missing front right end plate. So he's going to have to go back in and pit for that. It's a shame he was in the points paying positions for nearly the whole race. Until that unfortunate incident. Even despite the safety car, Edno still has a plus 1 second gap to Hendo further back behind. As Ain't No Kid accumulates a penalty for speeding in pit lane, which might have been done by that really annoying bug in this game where Fanatical is rejoined. But anyway, it's that really annoying bug where for whatever reason you put the pit limiter on in like third gear or something, puts you at 61 kilometers per hour, and then you get a penalty for being a second over the speed limit. Fuck off. Fanatical rejoined despite being DNF, so maybe he's just wanting to watch his teammate. I get Facebook notifications about my AFL club's picks. So yeah, I got pick 3 and pick 15 out of all that. As Edmo dives into the pit lane, so the leader dives in. We'll see if Hendo follows suit. Who does not follow suit. So Hendo will take the lead as Edmo gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane. So that's very unfortunate there. Flunky opts to avoid the pits, but JDM and Greeny follow Edno into the pits. So Mad Dog is now in P3 as Integral here has now gained even more places and comes out in P4. Bremer is going to come through and likely benefit from all that as well on the medium tyre with 20 laps to go. He could absolutely go for another 10 laps. Stops and then wing it from there. That's what I did last night. I still finished P11. Anyway. But Edno comes out in P7 with that one. Purple's my favourite colour, so I'm going to be inherently biased to any purple helmets as my dogs start barking out of the fence. You know where the neighbours are who helped rebuild our fence after the storms that we had here a couple of weeks back. Yeah, fun times in Melbourne. Fun times in Melbourne. Lately we've had a couple of lockdowns. Earthquake of all things, and we had a storm that was so intense that it cut our power for about 2 days. So yeah, don't recommend living in Melbourne. If you want stability in their weather, because we absolutely do not have that anymore anyway. Now behind the safety car on lap 11. Still behind the safety car, doesn't look to be diving in anytime soon, although I think Hendo, no, he's just warming up his tyres. Might have flirted with the possibility of diving into the pit lane, but if there was a time to dive into the pit lane, it would have been a lap ago. See on the bird, coming left currently in P16. Just It's your boy here in P4. Still on the safety car. We don't know if it's coming in this lap or not. We should get a good idea shortly if it's coming on. We're going to go back green again. Say, sorry. Safety car is in this lap though. Across the 100-minute mark a little while back, but the safety car is peeling in at this lap. Next is second restart unfolds. Hopefully it is smooth racing from then on out. Safety car. History suggests that we probably will. Nonetheless, I will be here until the end of this race to commentate and to watch basically with everyone. All 12 of you, thank you for sticking around. I know it's been a bit longer than normal. A lot of that has been from the 15 minutes of me rambling in the setup menu, but go green. 12, 13. As we'll see some overtakes further down the field, which is a no-go. That might be from people diving in, although Greenie now has a nice stroke race. Now we're back on the green again. So we're now on board with Endo, but Flunky isn't far behind. Oh, never mind. Apparently not Jimmy Flunky. There you go, Flunky's there. Got Mad Dog. We've got Greenie with a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane, so he's just gained 10 seconds penalties there for largely some stuff that's not really his fault. So that's very unfortunate there for Greenie. So it's a boy here, P4. So I'm watching these two, keeping an eye on any mistakes that Mad Dog might do. Bremmer in P5. Edmo, he's already gained a place actually. He's gotten past Goffey. I think Edmo's going to take Bremmer from P5. It's shown to be very quick. Edmo all weekend. All qualifying. Why do I keep saying all weekend? I'm so used to saying that because I know that's how the program works. But, Bremmer, ooh, there's a lot of lag going on here. Oof, that is very laggy. Is that my stream? That is my stream. If it is my stream, I do very much apologise for that. I'm seeing a lot of very shaky racing here. Edmo's just very laggy. JDM in P7, Salty in P8. Goffey's fallen way back actually. What happened there? He's had a shocking middle sector there. Oh, he's lost a front wing, that's why. So there's yet another front wing gone. Stroke Race gets ahead of Edmo Kid for P13, and a nice move there. Edmo Kid's moving back alongside him there. He falls a little further back, he's very slow actually. Easing up the throttle. It should be full beans. He's in P16. Back. DRS should be enabled shortly. Edmo's still lagging like crazy further back, but he's still making a move on Bremmer and dives down the inside on turn 1 and keeps ahead. Takes the inside line going to P3 and sends it on the inside there. Gets ahead of Bremmer for P5. Nice move there from Edmo. Bremmer still within about DRS range, although DRS is not enabled. He will not be able to, unfortunately, catch up to him just yet. He's still using his ERS for good measure. Half my shit's gone. I just realised all that. That's not good. Anyway, got Perks in P8. He's just overtaken Salty in a nice move there. Sainz isn't far behind and is looking to get P9 off RNG Salty. See what happens here as Sainz. Oh, goddamn. Ball's a bit further back there. It's a bit of a slow exit as Goffey exits pit lane in P15. The sole Alpine running. Things have been relatively stable since the last safety car, although it has only been one lap. So you really hope it would stay stable. Oh, I've just jinxed it, haven't I? I've really jinxed it. Has Goffey spun? No, his car's fine. Okay, I'll just further jinx myself a little bit more. So things have been super stable in this one lap so far. Hendo's quicker. Hendo sailed away actually, capitalising on Edmo's inability to carve his way through the field as it stands. He's in fire at your boy here, so he might gain P4 back, but Hendo's really got to fly now. He's got to get those quick laps, lap after lap after lap, to stay ahead of Flunky, and therefore get a buffer advantage over Edmo, and could get a net P2 by the end of the next 2 laps, as DRS is enabled. Mad Dog 4 tenths behind, but we've got a couple of close cars behind each other here. There could be a couple of moves done here under DRS in the Sector 1 timing zone. We're going to have a quick look on board with Mad Dog here and find out if he's going to use ERS and DRS to get ahead, as he has slightly less than Flunky, but does have the DRS advantage. So we're going to go on board with him again. Flunky for a brief second there, and he's fallen further a bit back there. As Edmo isn't far back from Itsuboi here. He might make a dive here. Oh, no. Had a look. Close enough, unfortunately. Perks is catching up to JDM rather quickly. Sainz is catching up to Salty. Dive. Green is setting fastest lap on the medium tyres for the Uralkali Haas F1 team. Goffey is heading through the Sector 3 timing sector on the hard tyres. Hendo's lost a little bit of time to Flunky behind him in Sector 2. But Hendo might be able to get some time here. He's got a lot less ERS actually than Flunky behind him, significantly less, so Hendo's trying his very best to push. Doing his absolute best, and we're going to see if he can continue to hold such an advantage. We've got position changes left, right and centre here. It's your boy here, and Edmo swap places, heading down that right-hander, and they're super close to each other. As Perks, Bremer get ahead of JDM's gone. It's gone off the runoff. So something's happened to JDM further down the field. JDM's lost a lot of positions there and has gone out of the points as a result. And that's left Urban Growth back in the points. There's another safety car. I don't know what for, but we have a safety... Ooh, that's a lot of track debris there. Ain't no kid has no front wing. Endo pits. JDM has no front wing. Safety car. I jinxed it, didn't I? I absolutely jinxed it. Anyway, plenty of cars pitting now because we're now at the halfway point of the race, and they may as well take advantage of the free pit stop they've garnered from the safety car coming out. So plenty of cars here going to gain quite a few positions, net positions from pitting early here. So good stuff. Hendo, Mad Dog, It's Your Boy here, and Urban Growth to pit when they have payoff dividends in the back half of this race. Safety car withstanding. Of course, it won't matter if they do have a safety car or not because they're on a fresh set of tyres and they're competitors. This Urban Growth, due to a front wing change, comes out behind Ain't No Kid, but Ain't No Kid has not pitted because obviously the Williams garage is at the far end of the pit lane. Because of course the pit lane is based off where they are in the constructors the previous year. Of course, Williams finished P10, and therefore far end. Although next year it will be Haas. Haas will be P10 next year. As Ain't No Kid has a 5-second penalty for crossing the white line pit exit. So that's a slam dunk penalty from him, unfortunately. Our third safety car of the session. Just waiting for the safety car to put everyone back in the field. We've got Flunky in the lead now. Enmo is now in P2. Perks Bremer. Bremer's actually in the pits, actually. He's diving in the pits now, so I suspect he's been on the softs since the start and may do the rest of the stint on the soft tyre. We're going to go and find out. He is indeed going to be finishing the stint on the soft tyre, coming out in likely P13. Definitely P13. So he's going to be lapped by nearly the whole field, barring a couple of cars, barring the 3 cars. Back onto the safety car for the 3rd time. If you include VSCs as safety cars, I guess they are safety cars because they're virtual. We've had 5 safety cars this race, 17 laps. Could you join? Unfortunately, no. We've had 20 cars in this race, and you'd have to join RRL. I mean, I guess you are. I guess you're. Are you new, or if you're new, there's the RRL Discord. There's even the OC Discord. There's different. We've got different leagues. Safety cars in this lap. There are different leagues that all the people in RRL, most people in RRL put their fingers in because it's more racing, it's fun. This sort of thing's it can be a very chill and fun environment, but it can also be very tense, as is the case in Div 1. We've got the Edno's car going around side to side like a roller coaster. What's that song called again? I don't know what that song is. Anyway, we've got Flunky out in front to start the 18th lap in front, so I think he's our 4th leader this race. Some competition, definitely had some competition up front, as Salty has a 5-second penalty for a collision with Signs. That's very unfortunate. I'm a Bird gets a collision penalty with Goffy. I don't know how. Not very smart from either of them for them to be able to somehow cause that, because I'm a Bird's lapped. So anyway, we're in the green racing conditions once again, except Flunky keeping things close this time around. He isn't diving off like Endo did. He's just going to wait until the straight and absolutely send it. We've got plenty of cars alongside each other. We've got Sainz being pushed a little bit wide there by one of the Ferraris. Flunky stays out in front along with Edno, but Sainz gains a place. Salty manages to dive back under him, sorry. So Sainz still keeps P4, but they're super close. Sainz manages to fall just a little bit ahead there though. So all the cars keep nice and clean going into this corner here. So some good racing here so far. See, everyone's keeping it respectful and keeping it clean. Seeing plenty of cars. Seeing I'm a Bird in the pit lane once again. Another front wing change. It's very unfortunate for I'm a Bird. He is now officially a lap down from the rest of the field. It's your boy here in Hendo swap places. We're seeing a lot of cars alongside each other, the 2 Ferraris, and Mad Dog dives down the inside. Can he make it 2 for 2? No, he gets bumped into and spun by R&D Salty. Although he dived down the inside, and to be fair, lost positions from that. But Hendo gains P7 from It's Your Boy here. Keeps P7 as a result, so Hendo could absolutely gain some more positions here. Watch on board with him as Urban Growth gains positions and JDM loses yet more positions. He's now facing the wrong way and is without a front wing. He is retired from session. Could this be another safety car? Doesn't look like it so far. Edno and Flunky are alongside each other. Oh, they're super close there going down there. And we have an AlphaTauri spun off track. That's Hendo. Fantastic restart, gained plenty of places, just stuck there. Poor Hendo's race has just gone just even worse. There's Bremer, now Bremer, and Goffy. Come on, guys, that's a lot of incidents. That's a lot more cars out now. Zeno Kid's now in P9. Bremer is missing a front wing end plate, so he's gonna have to go back into the pits again. End plate. It's your boy, he gets ahead of Stroker Ace. in a move that looks like that was Stroker Ace getting out of the way, but Urban Growth gains from that and gains P7 from Stroker Ace. That kid isn't far behind him in P9. Could he gain P8 from Stroker Ace and give Stroker Ace a 3-position deficit in just 3 corners? We'll find out very shortly. He's alongside him here. He's going to dive down the inside. He's going to take the inside line here. He's already ahead of him by the braking zone. Ain't No Kid makes a wonderful move up the inside of Stroker Ace and takes P8. Stroker Ace isn't content with losing that position, though Ain't No Kid smartly covers him off and breaks a little bit too short there, and as a result there's some slight contact. 2 Alpha Tauri's are now in the pit lane getting their tyres and front wings replaced respectively. Simon Bird very far down the field now, just kind of handling his own race. I think he's just trying out different strategies of tyres now. He's so far back from the rest of the field unfortunately, but Flunky still leads out in front with Endo not far behind him at all. Flunky, at his home GP. Wonderful job there from Flunky. Leading the race. Looks like he's having a blast out there, holding off Endo. It's Edmo, some respectful racing between these two up in front. We've got Perks not far behind in P3 with Signs in P4. Salty and far back. It's a big battle pack here. As Salty breaks too late and ruins his front wing. Salty now has no front wing and hits the wall again for good measure. Ain't No Kid cutting the corner there to avoid contact with Salty. And Green gets ahead. DRS has been enabled, but Salty's unfortunately going to dive into the pit lane there, and he's lost a lot of positions from that accident. Just braked a little bit too late, maybe a little lapse of concentration, but it was enough to put him down out of the points paying positions. As DRS has now been enabled, and Edno has DRS over Flunky, and Edmo will pull this off. We'll just have to see how he goes to the outside this time around. Does he send it? Side by side, there's a bit of contact between the two, but Edmo takes it on the outside and is in the inside for this corner and stays ahead. Wonderful move there, wonderful respectful move and respectful driving between those two to swap positions in the manner that they're from Edmo to take P1. Signs not far behind. Perks battling for P3 as it stands. And it's a boy here. The 2 Aston Martins in P5 and P6 in solid positions for the Constructors' Championship. Ain't No Kid's doing a splendid job out there holding on to P7, although he has a few penalties, so his points paying positions might not pay off as well for him as it shows as it stands. But Greenie isn't far behind and is clear of penalties and has DRS in fact, but had a horrible exit compared to Ain't No Kid. There's been no further position changes. Oh, hang on, we just saw a big accident there. That was Greenie losing... hang on, that was Ain't No Kid losing his front wing. So I think Ain't No Kid might have braked a bit too late and got a bit of a slight... or braked too early and might have got a slight tap. Mad Dog takes P8 from Ain't No Kid. Unfortunately from Ain't No Kid because he was running a really solid race there. It just looked like one of those unfortunate racing incidents as Perks dives into the pit lane quite late if I say so myself. Maybe he's been running this since the start. But now the Aston Martin duo are in P4 and P5 as Greenie now gains P6. Perks losing a lot of positions there. He has a front wing change. Maybe he had front wing damage. Had to box earlier than intended. He's now going to come out in about P9 as Bremer is... yeah, he's going to come out at P9. So he's going to still come out in the points paying positions. Not seeing any position changes. In fact, the closest 2 cars on track right now are the 2 Aston Martins. They are P4 and P5. I know Aston Martin's boss, Lawrence Stroll, or Otmar Snaufner, or whatever his name is, like Snaufzer, I think it is. Anyway, Otmar and Stroll, they want to change the color of the car to make it more TV friendly. But in this game, under these lights, the car looks lovely, and in Qatar, the car looks brilliant. So I don't know, just needed a light green. Endo absolutely needs a safety car. He absolutely does. I'd say it's the same for basically anyone outside the top 10. They need a safety car right now, except for Bird, who was a lap down, but they need it. And there's a high chance, given the number of retirees we've had so far, the number of safety cars that have come as a result, there's the implication that, yeah, what happens? Bremer leaves the session again, assuming, I'm guessing he has technical issues. It's the second time he's left the session. I'll go back on Discord and figure out what's been going on. Oh, so someone didn't get banned. Okay, good. That's good to see. We didn't get anyone banned. No one's been banned tonight. It's a good start there as Urban Growth gets ahead of Signs of P3 in a wonderful move assisted by DRS. He's ahead of him by turn 1 and keeps that position. So he keeps P3 and again has no penalties. So wonderful work there from Urban Growth. Excellent effort there from Flunky to start in the back row to be up into P2 from just keeping it calm and collected to avoid accidents. He's completely avoided accidents as his boy here is now catching up to Signs. Signs is about to make a dive down on Urban Growth. Takes P3 from Urban Growth in a wonderful move. Excellent stuff there to take P3 off Urban Growth. I must say so myself, that's definitely a recipient for Overtake of the Week. Very clean and very smooth. There's been plenty of very clean and smooth overtakes down that section of the track this race. As Bremer rejoins the session, and the two Ferraris are P9 and P10 respectively. As Bremer's AI has opted to pit him for some reason and to replace the front wing. So very unfortunate there for Bremer. He was in the points, and now he's back out of it again, along with his fellow AlphaTauri driver Rapid Hender. Edmo now has a 4.4 second gap ahead of Flunky. He's absolutely been dominating. It's like Lewis Hamilton and Cotard. The second Edmo gets clean air, he is absolutely flying. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. It appears to be one of the AlphaTauris. I believe it is Bremer. Bremer has hit the wall. Poor dude. Unlucky race, this dude. He's quick. He's a very quick dude. Be alright, mate. There's always next week. There's always next week. A lot of disagreements in the Discord Div 3 chat, but you know that's the Discord Div 3 chat sometimes. Yeah, AI just crashed itself out. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, because it looked a bit weird there how the AI just went straight, or you know, the car just went straight into the wall there. Anyway. Yeah, Aston's way up there, P3 as it stands. Eventually get back past Signs. I didn't see the move because I was busy reading the Discord. I do apologise for not commentating that move. But they are super close to each other once again. In fact, there's a three-way here for P3. They remain super close to each other here as Signs is on the outside here and actually makes the move on the outside. So that was another excellent move there from Signs in the same lap. It's two wonderful moves there as Evan Gross fallen way behind for some reason. He's lost a lot of his ERS. Signs has managed to preserve his ERS excellently as we have a yellow flag in sector 3. It is a Haas. It is I'm a Bird in the pit lane. I think he might be retiring from the session. Hendo currently the last of the cars on the lead lap. Now passes the start-finish straight. Completes lap 23. On to lap 24 now. We've got 7 laps to go until the end of this race. It's been a long race with plenty of safety cars, but we've had some stability in this particular part of the race. Urban Growth's now got DRS on Signs. Will he make a move going into turn 1? He had a look. He didn't opt to go for it. There was another chance. He's got to reserve a little more ERS though if he's going to want to commit to that move in the next DRS zone. Never mind, they're alongside each other. For a brief second they were. It looks like Signs is a bit under pressure here as he has a horrible exit out of that corner in particular. It gives Urban Growth a bit of an advantage, but Urban Growth doesn't have much ERS at all to play with. He cannot gain as much of an advantage as he would have liked. The boy here does back off a little bit in order to prevent things from getting too hectic on this narrow street circuit. This is a very narrow street circuit. It's a very unforgiving one, as we've seen countless times tonight. Some cars go out from just a slight lapse of concentration. There's front wing damage, sending you very far back in the field. It's been quite a night, I'll say that much. Signs has managed to keep P3 rather nicely. The lack of ERS from Urban Growth has prevented Urban Growth from being able to make another move. And it's the same story for It's Your Boy here actually. He's got low ERS. Guarini has got some pretty good ERS deposits there. There's a battle here between the two Ferraris. I think they had a little bit of contact there actually. A quick look on the onboard. No, the Ferraris look fine. Two Fezzes. Is that what some people call Ferraris. Do people call Ferraris Fezzes? God, I hope not. You need to be spanked with a newspaper if you call it Ferrari. Evan Growth is now 2 and a bit tenths behind Sainz. He's going to make another. He's looking at making another move here. Sainz had a horrible exit. In fact, they're alongside each other. Evan Growth gets past. A splendid move there. Dives down P1 and is comfortably ahead of Sainz and takes P3 as a result. So now the next car in line to overtake Sainz is It's Your Boy here in the fellow green Mercedes. He might make it dive down the inside here. He had a look, but opted avoiding it and actually loses his rear a little bit from mounting the curb too much, and therefore loses momentum. So he's actually fallen back despite having DRS, but Sainz also had DRS, and as a result, he's been able to catch just a little bit more. Things have remained relatively stable now, with the field clearing itself out a little bit, and the top runners giving each other enough room to keep things competitive while not crashing into each other. Thankfully, respect to everyone who's still in the race, and respect to everyone who's partaken in the race. This is a very difficult track to navigate. I can only imagine Div 3 again. When we come back around and we're up to Monaco, I don't want to imagine how difficult that's going to be. So Monaco is a nightmare. I hate Monaco. I mean, I kind of love it. My Div 1 race there was kind of an adventure and a half. 1 out of 10. Probably wouldn't do again. Now back on board with It's Your Boy here. In P5. Solid race he's had so far. Qualified in he was in Q3, but he's definitely gained position change chart once again. He's gained, actually he wasn't even in Q3 actually, he was at the back of the grid. He was near the back. He's gained 12 positions, but Flunky, Edmo now pits, interestingly enough. So that's very interesting. Is he going to go into the soft tyre? He is absolutely going to go into the soft tyre. He's going to wait a bit though for the penalty, so he's lost time there. So Flunky has gained 17 places. Singapore Div 3 race, sponsored by Sully's. Sully's have a slogan, I don't know what it is, but they make quality shirts. Check them out. Put a yellow flag in sector 2. It is the Williams of Ain't No Kid. And he might have front wing damage. We only see his rear suspension. It's difficult to say. The car looks fine to me. If we check other big movers and shakers, we've got It's Your Boy here gaining 14 places, Perks gaining 15 places. Frankly, no one's really been able to compare to that. Ain't No Kid's gained 7, but frankly, yeah, they haven't been able to gain compared to that. As Edmo comes out in P6, he's comfortably in P6. The Sainz is in P7 for some reason. Not sure what happened there. Maybe he went to pit as well. Given the condition of these two softs, I'm assuming that they both pitted around the same in that lap. So that's given the Aston Martins a double podium, which is very impressive work from those two to stick it in the podium. Just little laps to go. Got a yellow flag once again in sector 2. Actually, it involves Perks. So Perks is retired from session. Try to figure what's going on there. So Perks is DNF'd from the session. He was having a very decent race there, starting from the back. There's his car. Front wing and suspension mounting's damaged. You're not dressed until you're wearing a Sully's t-shirts. Slogan. They are very good quality t-shirts though. No safety car as a result of Perks' crash. Flunky pits. He's on the hard tyre, and it's now an Aston Martin 1-2. Greeny likely sliding on by. Take P3 off Flunky, who's opted to dive into the pits to go into the soft compound tyre for the last 4 laps of this race. Edmo is coming around the last 2 corners here. I reckon Flunky has gotten ahead of Edmo here. What to say? Stayed ahead. The yellow flag in sector 3, it's a Ferrari. It is Salty. In that same corner again, he lost his front wing there. He's lost his front wing end plate. So it's very unfortunate. It's a cursed corner there for poor Salty. Now on board with Ghosted I'm a Bird. He's flown off into the wind. Gone to probably play something else. I don't blame him. He's a lap down. Fun being that far down in the field. It's always next week, mate. Always next week. On board with Evan Growth, who is the leader of this race. Started P4, he's gone up and down the field. He's comfortably got himself a 3-second lead ahead of It's Your Boy here. He was a further 8 seconds in front of Greeny, so this podium is very nicely wrapped up as it stands. They've got to keep it consistent. They've got to keep the consistency. Get themselves to finish in P1. I don't know what's happened to Urban Growth here. He's lost a lot of time. Something happened to Urban Growth. He's lost a lot of time. It's Your Boy here. But, that was very bizarre there. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway. Nonetheless, he's still leading the race by a little bit over a second. He's kept that lead, actually. We're on board with Greeny P3 right now. Sailing away comfortably. Flunky and Edmo round out the top 5 as Unbird now has another penalty. Signs nearly lost it there as Edmo gets fastest lap. He's catching up to Ain't No Kid in AI mode, who's currently running P11. So Hendo's back into the points actually as a result. So consistency does pay off. If you're 30 seconds behind points paying position after a safety car pit stop, like 15 laps in, don't give up, because if you keep your consistency and you keep your laps together, you're going to be up in the points at some point. Stroke Race dives into the pit. Proving my point, Hendo's now up into P8. So Hendo's definitely got some points there to as a reward for his climb back up the grid after falling way back down from front wing damage. As most of the cars in this grid have actually had front wing damage. So It's Your Boy's actually in the lead now. I just realised. Thank you, Luke, for enthusiastically letting me know in the chat. Enthusiasm is appreciated. He now has a 2-second lead over Urban Growth. I don't know where that happened, but my guess is that Urban Growth's likely having some issues with his controller, and as a result isn't able to be up to the speed that he wants to be. But he commands a big gap over P3, so keep it on the track and keep it out of trouble, he could probably still finish on the podium here, as Flunky is super close behind Greeny. He's barely 3/10 in it now. It's been hovering around the 3/10 mark for a while now, and there's a DRS zone coming up with Greeny with no defense, although he has more DRS in his back pocket, although there's a little bit of contact there. Oh, I thought they were about to hit each other again, but no, he doesn't. Flunky dives down the inside and gets past in a wonderful move in turn 1. Lap 29. Excellent stuff there, Flunky, to take the podium place off there. As Edno now gets another 3-second penalty for warnings. So he started on pole, but it hasn't quite been the race Edmo's been looking for. He's been quick, he's had the fastest lap, he had pole. He hasn't quite been able to convert that into a race, podium, or victory yet. It's still 2 laps to go though, so anything can happen. Anything can happen in Div 3. So Urban Growth is now likely holding off any potential charge from Flunky, because Flunky has caught up by about a second. 2 laps to go. Sorry, 3 laps. No, 2 laps actually. 2 laps to go. Will Flunky catch up? It's difficult to say at this point in this race. And as I've said before, anything can happen in Division 3. That's been a catalyst for change and chaos in these races, then I'm sorry in advance. But it definitely, a lot of things can change in Div 3, as Edmo now has DRS on Greeny. Make a dive down the inside. He looks at it. Oh, he did it! He dives down the inside and gets ahead of Greeny in a wonderful dive. Enough space was given there between those two, and he gets ahead for P4. Signs gets ahead of the lapped Unbird, who has no front wing. It's holding a solid race in P6 with his teammate a bit behind him in P7. Hendo holding his own in P8 comfortably. Get about 12 seconds of penalties and still finish in P8. So Hendo, if you ever wanted to cut the track, well, is there any places you can cut in this track? Actually, maybe the whole turn 1, maybe turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 complex. I don't know, but there's not much of this track getting cut, I can say that much. So Urban Growth barely has any ERS, and Flunky has gained yet another second on him in that last sector alone. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. It is a Mercedes-Benz. It is Signs. Has the rear end instability that plagued his Q3 appearance, that ruined his Q3 appearance. Has that come to bite him once again, I wonder? He has no damage though, so runs very wide though. Somehow avoids a penalty. There's some tips for you. There's some track limit tips for you. Last lap with It's Your Boy. Yeah, got it on board for you. You're be on board here with It's Your Boy for the last lap and a half. Any position changes though, we will duly note, we will watch, just in case. Oh, I just pressed RT and LT, sorry about that. That's Monaco, that's the Monaco television direction. It's like, oh my god, look at the lead. Oh, I've just pressed some buttons. Look at the lead. It's that Stroll meme all over again. Gap's barely a second between the two Aston Martins as we're looking at a potential 1-2 in not the constructor we expected. These last few races I've been commentating, I've been very used to seeing McLarens up in the podium or a 1-2. But it looks like, as it stands, we might see an Aston Martin 1-2. Still got one lap to go. We are on the final lap of this race, and It's Your Boy here leads Urban Growth with Cubistic Flunky not far behind in P3. He's now 3.8 seconds behind with one lap to go. He is flying. He has not been able to get fastest lap, but it's been enough to catch up quite considerably. But will it be enough? There's still basically 2 more sectors to go. And they are the complicated sectors of this track that require a lot of concentration, a lot of corner exit speed. He's running very low on ERS though, so he might not be able to quite get it. Urban Growth is on the catching up very slowly there to It's Your Boy here. It's Your Boy here coasting along a little bit. Will Urban Growth make a challenge for P1 here? They both don't have penalties. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2. Cubistic Flunky has retired from session. He had a really good race there, and he's retired from session. So, wonderful job there. I think you're a Div 2 driver though, so you technically couldn't finish, but wonderful job anyway to get up there and to prove your racecraft. Good advertisement of your racecraft there, mate. It's Your Boy, he still leads Urban Growth by half a second. There's few opportunities now for Urban Growth to get past, and they're ever decreasing as this lap progresses. We can figure out how this race exactly ends. It's super close between the leaders here on the last lap of this race. It's going to be a 1-2 for Aston Martin. In which order? We're going to find out in these next 5 corners. Head through the last set of chicanes. We've now got another retirement. I believe another retirement. Now Hendo's gone off. But It's Your Boy here wins. He's coming across the double header, the double left-hander, and he takes P1 with Urban Growth in P2, 2/10 behind. It is an Aston Martin 1-2 in Div 3. Wonderful job by these two to keep it together, to respect each other's limits, push each other for that 1-2. It was a brilliant race there. Greeny crosses the line P3 and Edmo crosses the line P4, so a solid podium there for Greeny. Mad Dog is in a battle with Sainz. There's nothing in it between these two, although Sainz has a penalty which makes things a little bit trickier. Salty crosses the line P10. Flunky crosses the line P9 as a technicality from not retiring a lap earlier. But these two are side by side for some reason. Not sure why. Maybe they want to do a Schumacher Barrichello at Austria 2002. They are going to do a Schumacher Barrichello at Austria 2002. Sainz had a penalty anyway, so it doesn't change much. But Mad Dog crosses the line P5, Sainz P6, Hendo is the last of the cars to cross the line. Sorry, that is Strecker Race going to be the last. We've got Hendo in P7 and Strecker Race not far behind. But excellent job there from It's Your Boy here. He's crossed the line in E1 with his teammate in P2. Green in P3. Let's go on board with Hendo as he crosses the line. P7. And he gets driver of the day for his efforts as well. Yeah, hard to compete with that, to be honest. Hard to beat that. He had a very, very stellar race there. That lasted an hour. Wow. I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna invite him to party. Wink. See if these guys join us. Let's see if they join us. It's completely up to them if they want to join us. We've got It's Your Boy here actually joining us right now. It says I'm offline for some reason on Xbox. That's weird. Welcome, mate. We're going to see if the others join us. We've got P3. We've got Greeny and P3 joining us. Why am I appearing offline? That's weird. Anyway. Then we're going to have Urban Growth join us. Do we know? have a quick look. Send him an invite real quick and see if he joins. If not, I'll speak to you guys. So, first off, Greeny, good job to finish P3. Started P5. Kept it clean. Only one penalty. But, yeah, you did a really good job to get there in P3 in the end. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, good job to get P3 there, especially without a front wing end plate, because you need the downforce on this track. It's chaotic. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, Urban Growth hasn't joined the party, but it's your boy here has joined the party, so congrats on that win.
Thank you very much.
Congrats on the 1-2. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun to watch. It was a chaotic race at points, but it finished in a very satisfying way, and I'm sure you'd be very happy with that P1.
Bloody hyped. Yeah, nah, first ever win so in league racing, so that's sick.
Yeah, good stuff. Urban Growth has just joined the party, so
But yeah, nah,
anyway, yeah.
it was chaotic, starting from the back, so I didn't get to qualify. Couple safety cars got damaged first lap, and then yeah, me and Urban on that last safety car were just sticking together that whole time, just swiping through the pack, getting through all the cars one at a time, staying together, and then yeah, pulled off that very, very well deserved. I think both of us 1-2. So yeah,
I agree. Very good effort from you both, and with no penalties either.
Yeah,
so it was very clean on track. Not to say that penalties can just happen very easily in this.
Yeah.
Just because you get one doesn't mean like you've done bad. It's just the game can be very finicky with that, and to avoid that outright is quite impressive. Even one is very impressive on these tracks. But anyway, so
thank you, Urban.
congrats on P2, mate. You did really well to get P2. Congrats for the constructors 1-2. Oh. Yeah, it's why you never give up. It might seem hopeless at some points. Exactly, you got there in the end. It might seem hopeless at some points, but yeah, you never give up because you never know where you're going to finish in these races. So, anyway, that'll be that for... Yeah, exactly. Till next week, which is... Oh, shit. Which track is it? I think Japan. It's Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be fun. Alright, see you, mate. Alright, well, that's that. So good.